Welcome to Fascination Israel. Did you ever have to think about to only let your children on a sports field if there were bomb shelters nearby? Only recently, hundreds of destructive missiles were again fired from Gaza into Israel. Today, I am going to the south of Israel to see how the families there live in mortal danger every day. Gottfried Bühler makes his way to Ofakim in the south of Israel. There, he visits a non-profit organization that specializes in helping disadvantaged children, namely, the Israel Tennis and Education Center. It is mainly families living in socioeconomic hardship that send their children to this place. Here, they get free tennis lessons, education, and even hot meals. Shmuel Bowman is waiting for us at the tennis center. He is the founder and director of Operation Life Shield. This area around Ofakim is one of his main project locations, and there is a very good reason for this.
Shmuel, you invited me to a tennis court, and I'm very curious, why do we meet here?
We're standing in a tennis court program, a tennis program where hundreds of children come to this program to learn tennis every week. And we are 18 kilometers from the Gaza border, 18 kilometers from the threat of rocket attacks. This area gets hit with rockets. A siren could go off any second, be ready, and we would have about 30 seconds to get to a shelter.
What is the average of rocket attacks here in this area?
Well, so rockets don't hit on a daily basis, but the threat of a rocket attack is every day. So, for example, only 4 weeks ago, 440 rockets slammed into this region, with many of those rockets hitting right here in Ofakim. So how do we figure out the statistics? If you think about the fact that in the past year, in 2019, that somewhere in the area of over 2,000 rockets hit this region, so now we're talking about something that's happening very, very often.
You are bringing shelters. How many shelters are here in Ofakim?
So in Ofakim, you have shelters, public shelters, every few hundred meters. This is so that people can do their shopping, yeah, and that they can go to the bank and they can take their kids to school. Every kindergarten, every school has a shelter. But there are a lot of places that have been missing shelters, okay? And so that's where we come in and try and fill in the gap. This is a city, it's a beautiful city, but it's also a development city. A lot of poor people live here, a lot of new immigrants, right, from Ethiopia and Russia and other places come here and live here. Many of them cannot afford an apartment building that has a shelter, and so there's a lot of gaps. But I think that the important thing is to make sure that people are safe, even when there aren't rockets hitting. you need to know right away, oh, there's a shelter there, there's a shelter there, now I feel safe.
But this is a place where mostly children are meeting and playing. How is it for children to have this constant situation to be under attack?
Right, so first of all, the parents of those children are not going to be letting their children come to this tennis program if there isn't a shelter. And as the rocket attacks increased and intensified, so more and more children who really benefit so much from this place were not being allowed to come. And that's understandable. By placing shelter here, so we're able to make that possible. What is a child going through? They're thinking, where would I go right now if the siren were to go off right now? And that's always in the back of their mind. And then when the siren does happen, they're dropping everything and they're running to a shelter. That's what they know, that's the only thing that is going to guarantee staying alive.
How does this affect children?
Yeah, well, the fact is that trauma and post-traumatic syndrome right now is at 150%, meaning that the demand is so high for treatment. Everybody is going to counseling on a weekly basis. The children who come here, they're all going for counseling, okay? Because it's affecting everything that's happening in their lives. Their schoolwork, the relationships with their friends, the way they're eating. This is where their anxiety is coming out. And as a result, everyone needs to go for counseling. Everyone is going for counseling, but there's not enough facilities for counseling, and so there's actually a waiting list, which is very, very unfortunate.
Shira is a regular visitor at the Tennis and Education Center. Her mother, Meital, spends a lot of time here with her children. Despite the constant threat coming from Gaza, she feels that this is a safe place. We want to know why that is.
Meital, it's wonderful to be with you here. How is it for you to live here in Ofakim? Why did you choose with your families to live here in this dangerous place?
I was born and grew up in this area, and so is my husband. We do want to live here with our family, and we will not move from here.
But isn't it dangerous for you to live here with 4 kids?
I put my trust in Almighty God. There are days that are more dangerous than others, but then we just stay home. Unfortunately, we are used to it, but it has become routine.
Would you send your children to this place if there wouldn't be shelters?
No.
What do you think? Why decide people to live here? What's the reason to live in such a dangerous area?
Well, it's a great question, but it's really the question of Israel. The Israeli mentality, the Jewish mentality, is we've done enough running, we've done enough hiding, and we're standing up for our right to live in our homeland. Now, the fact is that we're being attacked by rockets, and so, thank God, we have dear friends who help and support and make sure that we're protected. We take care of each other, and that's really, really important. But we're not running away anywhere. Why does somebody come to live in Ofakim? First of all, economics. We're not located in the center of the country. We're not located in Jerusalem or Tel Aviv, where housing prices are high. The houses here are very cheap. The other thing about living here is it happens to be very beautiful. It happens to be a beautiful part of the country. This is the Negev. This is the vision of the desert blooming.
Oh, this is the Negev here, the Negev area.
Yes.
But everything is green. We see wonderful trees, palms.
I know.
How that?
This is the great miracle of the Jewish people returning to the land of Israel. This place was a dry, parched, unfertile desert For all the years that the Jewish people weren't here, the Jewish people came back, and the desert, like the prophets prophesied, bloomed. It also is helpful to have good technology, drip irrigation. We know how to manage water and how to grow things here. And so we're using that technology that God gave us to be able to see the desert bloom. And as a result, green, trees, grass, and a beautiful place to live. Thanks to ICEJ Germany, we have 2 new shelters that are here at the tennis courts to provide protection on a daily basis for the children who come here and play.
So can you show me the shelters now?
Absolutely. Let's go.
So we are here in this shelter.
Right. So this is really the newest edition of the shelters that we're producing. And they come with wiring all ready to go. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to be able to give the shelter to the recipient, in this case, the Israel Tennis Center, and then they can decide what they want to do. And of course, we have our door that's the main door, but we also have an emergency exit through the window, and we have our air filtration coming here through the back so that you're getting fresh air. You're never feeling like you're trapped. You're never feeling like I can't breathe. So you've got the air that's always coming in, ventilating the space. So all these things are thought through very carefully. So these are very professionally made, engineered bomb shelters.
Have you been personally during an emergency situation in one of your shelters?
Yes, a few times. First of all, it's always a frightening experience. No matter how many times you hear the rockets exploding around you, and here you are, not moving, not going anywhere, not running. It's very counterintuitive that you have to stay perfectly still in one place and pray and know that there's bombs, rockets exploding all around you. You can hear it hitting the side of the shelter, and know that thank God you're safe.
What would you tell people in Germany? We are not living under these threats, so we have no idea how it is to live with such a dangerous thing like the people here.
Right, so it's a completely different way of living. You need to always take into consideration where the nearest shelter is, no matter what you're doing, whether it's playing tennis or having a meeting or having coffee with a friend, all these things that in Germany you might not worry about, like if a siren goes off and if rockets hit me right now, where would I go? And so there's this awareness that you always have to have in the back of your mind, where would I run to? So I need to be prepared for any scenario, the rocket that's going to explode over there, or the 20 that are going to be exploding all around me. I don't know. So I need to know that I need to get to a shelter right away. And as a result, that creates anxiety and tension and stress and trauma. And we're dealing with that every day, that our children are absorbing that level of stress and trauma. So what these shelters are doing is it's diminishing the trauma, okay? It's allowing children especially to know that, okay, there's somewhere safe I can go to. I don't have to always worry that in a split second I could be killed.
Thousands of rockets have been fired into southern Israel from Gaza in recent years. The threat is constant, and that is why Shmuel Bowman never tires of setting up additional shelters wherever they are needed. He has already delivered over 500 of them, and all financed by donations. But how did a Canadian rabbi come to do such extraordinary work?
Shmuel, you was born and raised in Canada, a safe place. Why did you leave this safe place for Israel?
Right. So my decision was coming from a family that was very strong on Israel, Zionist family, a religious family, and this is the environment I grew up in. And it's important to understand that to be Jewish, of course, it's a religion, but it's really a nationality. And as a result, we have three major pillars that define me as being Jewish. We have the Torah of Israel, we have the nation of Israel, and we have Eretz Israel, the land of Israel. These are these three pillars. And I really had a feeling that I really wanted to live as full a Jewish life as possible. I really wanted to not be an observer or a spectator to what was happening in Jewish history in this time. I wanted to be a participant. I wanted to be a native, involved in what was happening here in Israel in this crucial time.
What did you do in Canada?
My background is actually in gerontology, in working with the elderly. Mm-hmm. And that gave me a tremendous sensitivity to things like accessibility and rehabilitation. And I've taken that experience with me in the work that I do. I left my job, left my family, left my friends, left the wilderness of Canada. I loved canoeing and camping, and that was a part of my life on a regular basis, and came to Israel to watch the prophecy of our ancient prophets come alive. That's what it means to be in Israel today, to literally watch the Bible come alive, and not just watch it, but participate in this prophetic time.
Not everyone who is coming to Israel becomes a rabbi. How did that come?
Well, to be a rabbi is to be a teacher, and I love teaching, and it requires study, and it requires understanding what the laws are, the laws of Moses, the laws that define us in our Jewish life, and it's something that was a calling. My grandfather was a rabbi, and his father before him, and his father before him. So we come from a long line of rabbis and teachers and Torah scribes. And so coming to the land of Israel, I was able to plug in to what has been going on in my family for generations and generations. I also do a lot of teaching with our Christian friends, and the goal there is to deepen and go even further in their own faith, so that they're tapping into their Hebraic roots.
So you, as a person who is working very close also with Christians, do you think it should be important for Christians that they recognize the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948?
Well, you know, if you're going to be serious about being a person of faith, then it seems to me that seeing where there's a miracle, where a great miracle has taken place, should be obvious. The great miracle of the establishment of the State of Israel, the fulfillment of the words of our prophets in our lifetime, it just makes sense that if you're a person of faith, that it should be obvious that you're watching God's hand at work.
What should a Christian do, practical?
I think a Christian, if they really want to do something on a practical basis, look at studying Hebrew, even at the most basic level. Learn the Hebrew alphabet, learn some basic Hebrew words. Come and visit Israel and see what does it look like for the words of the prophet to actually come alive, and to be a partner in watching this great miracle unfold.
The miracle of the founding of the State of Israel, the return of the Jewish people to their promised land. For most Jews living here today, the State of Israel on its own soil simply is a miracle, and something that they will not let go. Not even if it means to live in a threatened region like Ofakim.
So that you live here, would you also say it's because you feel secure, because there are shelters and bomb shelters?
First of all, I feel safe because this is our country. As far as the missile threat is concerned, we keep an eye on the latest developments, and every now and then we have to run for a shelter.
Shira, how do you like this place here?
I have a lot of fun in this place. People are very kind to me, and I like it a lot. I love coming here, and I want to continue to do so in the future.
I saw already that you can play very well. And do you have a lot of friends here?
Yes, many of my friends from school also come here. I like that a lot.
And how is it for you, the rocket attacks here?
That scares me. But I feel safe because of the bomb shelters. But of course, it's God who also protects us.
That's wonderful. How does it work if there is an emergency? What is the delivery time for a bomb shelter if there is an urgent need?
So it depends. Some of our shelters can be ready within a few days, and other models require approximately 1 month from the time that they're ordered.
This is your son Sagi. Yes. Do you come often to this place? Do you play tennis?
I've been here several times, and it was nice. But tennis isn't really my thing.
So you prefer to play soccer or football?
No, I play basketball. My favorite sport is basketball. And if I go anywhere, it's to play basketball.
What do you want to be when you are an adult?
A veterinarian.
What would you want to be when you're an adult?
A professional tennis player.
Wow, wonderful. You're already doing a great job.
Thank you.
Hila, do you already go to school?
I'm in the 1st grade.
Well, do you like school?
Yes.
Do you also play tennis?
Yes.
What do you like in school most?
Sports.
What are you don't like?
The Hebrew lessons.
What is your biggest wish for the future, for your children, for your wonderful country?
To be able to continue living in freedom, that we will never forget what a privilege it is to live in our own country, and that we can live here in security and peace.
This is what we also wish for you. And I can tell you, I know that there are many Christians in Germany. They are praying for you on a daily basis, and they're standing with you. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And we wish you all the best.
It has been an eventful day for me, and it ends sitting here tonight with a very nice group of people. It really is interesting spending a whole day in an area where a missile could hit you at any second. And I have to say, it is very reassuring to know that Rabbi Shmuel Bowman is out here helping these people, whether they be Jews or Arabs, with his mobile bomb shelters. His work really is a great blessing. There is a worldwide organization that supports Rabbi Shmuel Bowman's work, and that is the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem. If you want to find out more about their work, please visit the website icej.org. Thank you for joining us again today. Perhaps you were moved by this film as much as I was, being here on site. Fascination Israel is on the road for you here in Israel, in order to show what is otherwise not shown. For today, I say goodbye to you with a heartfelt shalom from the south of Israel.